Hi, welcome to the official YouTube channel of Eduelgo Academy, and here we are going to discuss few interview problems that has been asked in the past in few of the topmost companies that hire people from coding backgrounds. Here are the companies. You guys may know what are these companies, so I'm not going to discuss about them. So the problem is very basic problem that that might occur while you are studying the greedy approach. Greedy approach means the greedy algorithms. If you have heard about that, that's all right. If you have not heard, we'll be discussing some part of that in this problem. So if you are going for the greedy approach, greedy algorithm problems, and the first problem might occur is the knapsack problem. That may be fractional knapsack or 1-2 knapsack or 0-1 knapsack. Sorry, not 1-2, 0-1 knapsack. These knapsack problems can occur, and one of the problem that you might have seen earlier as well, the gas station problem. That's a pretty basic problem, and almost every top universities in the world teach this problem as a case study for the greedy approach. Okay, so this problem has been asked in few of the top product based companies, like you can see. So we are going to discuss about that problem. This problem is known as the circular gas station problem. Try to understand the problem first. If you can understand well, then try to implement that in the code. If you can't understand well, don't worry. Everyone is a beginner. We start from zero and we move further. So don't worry, we'll be discussing about that. All right. So let's see what is the problem statement. The problem statement is quite important. It's very much important to understand the problem statement properly. Very much important to clarify the problem statement while you are in front of any interviewer, so that you can understand the constraints that are attached to the problem statement, or the edge cases and test cases that are attached to the same problem statement. Okay, so now the problem statement is given here. We have two integer arrays. Try to focus on the term integer. We have two integer arrays A and B of size n. Suppose this is our one array A, and suppose this is our one array B. So one thing is clear, like most of the time in interviews they ask you to only write the algorithms, not the entire program. But today I'm going to write the entire program in C++, so that you guys can at least know, those who are beginners, they can at least know how to write the program, the entire program. Okay, most of the sites like LeetCode and HackerRank, these all are like functional programming sites. So I mean, you just have to write the function and the algorithm, but today we are going to write the entire program. Okay, so the first thing to notice here, that both the arrays are of same size. So we have to take an integer n from the user, which is the size of our arrays. Now to take arrays as the input from the user, we are going to use dynamic arrays. And those who have studied C++, they know that in C++ there is something called as vector. So this vector we are going to consider here to take our dynamic arrays, and we are going to consider the vector input methods. After that, we'll be calling the function. Okay, so these two are our dynamic arrays. This is our first thing that is clear from the first line of the problem statement. Okay. Now what it is saying, there are n gas stations, like there are n gas stations in a circular route. So this is our circular route. Suppose this is our circular route, and these are our gas stations. Suppose these are our gas stations. So these gas stations are arranged in such a way that if you are starting from one, gas station. Suppose you are starting from here, then after visiting or traversing all the gas stations, will be reaching here only. Suppose this is I as of now. Okay, so if you are starting from I, then you will be reaching I at last. Now every gas station has some amount of gas. Like this is the ith gas station. So what is the amount of gas there? That is A of I. A of I means the value at the ith position. Suppose this is our ith position, then this will be our value. Okay, so that is the total amount of gas present in the gas station. This is not the amount of gas you needed. This is only the amount of gas that is present in the gas station. The maximum amount of gas that you can fill in your tanks. So you have a tank which can fill as much gas as you need. There is an unlimited gas filling gas tank. It sounds strange, but it is given in the problem. So now what happens? Try to read the problem statement. Now if you are going from I to I plus 1th gas station, then to cover this distance, some gas is going to be needed. So how much gas is needed? How to know that? The problem statement say the B of I gas is needed. I mean, suppose this is the ith position, then this will be the total amount of gas that is needed from going from ith to I plus 1th position. So what we do, we begin our journey. We begin our car journey with an empty tank at one of the gas stations. So suppose we are starting our journey from the ith stations with an empty tank. Our tank, suppose this is our tank. Okay, so this is our tank, and our tank has nothing as of now when we are starting from the ith position. Okay, now what we are going to do, if we can actually travel around the circuit by using the gas that is given in B array, using all the gas that is given in the B array, then we call it as the, as a total circular circular array of what? Array of gas stations or petrol pumps. If we can't really traverse them by using all these gases that are given in B, then we are going to return -1. So there are some constraints, like I have already told you. Please clear the constraints in front of the interviewer while solving any problem. The constraints are you can only move in one direction. Suppose you are moving in circular direction. Okay, suppose you are moving in this direction, suppose you are moving in this direction, then like from I to I plus 1, I plus 2, and up till 0, 1, 2, and after that also you will be moving if there are more, like up till I. Okay, so now what is the meaning of completing the circuit? That means if you are starting from I and you are reaching to I. So moreover, the problem is like we have some gas stations. We are given how much gas is present in the station, and we are also given how much we are going to need by moving from one gas station to another. Okay, so now you have to see if we can complete the entire circuit. So this is all about the problem. Now what is going to be the output? This I, remember this I, we are starting from the ith gas station and we are completing the circuit till I. Now what will be this I? From where we can start in the entire array so that we can reach at the same point by using all the gas that is given in B. Like if you are starting from 0, it may not be possible to reach 0 if the gas is getting empty in the midway. If you are starting from 1, it may be possible to reach the first position if the gas is not getting not ending. Okay, so we are going to see now, this is something we are going to see, like we are going to see one example. Most of you might have got the idea what we are doing here, some of you might have not. So suppose this is gas station 0, like I am writing the index here. This is the gas station 0, this is the gas station 1. Okay, so how much gas is present here? Suppose 1 amount of gas is present here and 2 amount of gas is present here in this gas station. These gallons are actually the gas that we need from moving from 1 to 2. Like we have understood that this is our circular array and we are given 2 gas stations, like this is one here, this is one here. This is our 0th gas station and this is our first. Like this one is here and this one is here. Okay, so now what we are doing, to travel from one gas station to another, suppose first we need 2 and these are all given. These 1, 2 are given actually as an array, array called as A, and these 2 and 1 are also given as an array called as B. Now suppose for traveling from 0 to 1 we need 2 amount of gas, but the total gas present at the gas station is 1. So even if we are filling the tank by 1 unit from this gas station, we can't really we can't really reach from first station to second station. Like if we are starting from here, we can't really reach here because we need for that we need 2 amount of gas, but we only have 1 amount of gas. So we can't really start from this station. Let's try to start from the second station. Okay, so if you are starting from the second station, now you can see if you are starting from this station and we will be needing only one amount of gas. So okay, so we are filling up our tank with 2 amount of gas, and from this station to this station we have used 1 amount of gas, so 1 amount is getting present. Next, from this station to this station we will be needing we will be adding 1 amount of gas here. Like this was 2 first, when we used 1 this became 1, and after that we are filling up it again at the first station, that will be 1, and that will be 1, that will be total will be 2 because 1 is already present, and after that we will be reaching to the station again. So the answer will be 1. That is the index of this second station, index of this array, or I can say this index of this second station. Like if we are starting from the second second gas station, then we can reach to the second gas station in a circuit way, like you can see here. Okay, so let's discuss another problem if you have not got this problem. So this problem is quite interesting. Suppose this is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and here we can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the total amount of gas that is present that is present in the stations. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to take some values. Like let me see what will be the values. So this value will be 3, this value will be 4, suppose this value will be 5, this value will be 1, this value will be 2. So one thing to notice here, like there are some patterns as well which you have to notice. Like I am telling you, one thing you can see here, at the first station we will be needing 3 amount of gas, but we have only 1 amount of gas present, so we can really start from the first station. In the second station we have if you are starting from the second station, we have only 2 amount of gas and we will be needing 4 amount of gas, so we can't really start from the second station. From the third station, at the third station, or this is the second station, actually this is the 0 station as per the array indexing. Okay, so we need actually 5 amount of gas, but we have only 3, so we can't really start from this station as well. Now here you can see, here at this station we have 4 amount of gas, but we need only 1. Okay, so we can start from this station. This is a positive thing that we can start from this station. We go to the next station and check, can we start from here? Okay, this is 5, this is 2. Okay, you can also start from here. After that we are again going here, we'll be seeing, okay, how much gas is in our tank. Like here, this is our tank. Now here we are filling up 4 and you are using 2, so it is remaining as 3. Next we are filling up 5, like and we are using 2, like this will be 8, and 8 minus 2, that will be 6. So here also we can do, and if you can see by yourself, then we can complete one total circuit if you are starting from 4. So one thing to notice here, like what is the value of tank here? Suppose we define tank as gas we are filling minus the cost. Suppose this is our cost, this gallons are our cost, that will be costing us for going from ith element in the ith element of the array to the I plus 1th element. So this will be our gas. So at any instantaneous time, any instantaneous gas station, what will be the current value of tank? Suppose this is our tank, that will be gas minus cost. So if you are seeing that the tank is less than 0, then we can't really actually start from this gas station. Like here 1 minus 3, that is minus 2, so this is 0, less than 0. Similarly here in this case, that is also less than 0. Here in this case, that is also less, but here in this case, that is greater than 0. So we can actually consider positively that we can start from here. So this is one pattern. What is the pattern? If the tank value that we are defining as gas minus cost is getting less than 0, then we can't really start from that station, we will be going to the next station. Second thing, if that is greater than 0, then we can consider that as our station, as our station where we can actually start. Okay, so now let's see one of the edge cases. Like we have considered this in greedy algorithm. What we do in greedy algorithm, we take one condition and we try to prove it if this is the best condition or the best pattern that can be matched to this problem. So what we have found one pattern here. What is that pattern? Like if the task is less than 0, then we are going to moving to the next station and starting from there. If that is greater than 0, then we are considering, okay, we can start from this session. So is this assumption correct? Is this assumption, we are assuming something in the greedy algorithm, that is the method in greedy algorithm, that we have to assume something. Suppose you are assuming this. Now let's try to focus on an edge case. Like we are going to consider one edge case. If we can start from that edge case, so that edge case will be something like, let me clear the screen first. Okay, so that edge cases will be something similar, but we'll be seeing one problem here. What is the problem? There are 2-3 edge cases, so we'll be discussing about them. So the first thing we can see, like suppose the amount of gas is here 1, here it is 4, here it is 6, here it is 7, it is 9. Why it is taking time to write all these values? Because I am creating those test cases by myself, so that is taking some time. 2, 1, suppose this is 10, this is 7, and this is 6. Okay, I think this will work. So now what you can see, this is negative here, 1 minus 2, that is negative. The tank is negative here. The tank we are taking, no tank, this is our tank, so we are taking the tank as this minus this, gas minus, this is our gas, this is our cost. So we are taking gas minus cost. So here what you are saying, 1 minus 2, that is minus 1. The tank is minus 1, which is less than 0. Okay. So here 4 minus 1, that is 3, that is greater than 0. So we can, one must be thinking we can start from here. According to our greedy algorithm that we have considered, like if tank is greater than 0, we can start. If tank is less than 0, we will be going to the next, next station. So let's see if we can start from here. Like here we can start, okay, our tank is 3 now. After that we went to here, like here our tank becomes 9 and we need 10 amount of gas. So we don't have 10 amount of gas. We can't really start from, if we start from here, we'll stop at 6. We can't go to 7 because we need 10 and we have 9 only. We have only 9 gas available, but we need 10 to go from this station to this station. Okay. So you can't really start from here. So we have another condition in greedy. Like we have to check for the entire array. We can't really say if it is getting, if the second element is more than 0, if for the second element we are finding tank is greater than 0, we can't really say that we can start from here. We have to check the entire array. If there is some other element after this element that we are taking, that is making tank less than 0, then we can't really start from here, because that will make our circuit fail by at that position. The circuit will break here. We can't really say that we can complete one circuit. Okay, so this is our first edge case. We have to check for the entire array. Now you guys know, if there is an array of size n and we are checking for the entire array by iterating over all the elements, or this is called as the traversing of array. Okay, now if we are traversing over the array, then you know that the time complexity will be of order of n. So this algorithm that we are going to write, the time complexity will be order of n by depending upon the input that we are giving. Okay, so this is our second edge case that we have taken. We have to check for all the elements. Like here you can see, if you are starting from 6, we can't really, because this is negative. If you are starting from here, okay, so this is 0, we may start from here. We can see if we can start from here, and we will be checking for that. Okay, you can start from here as well. We'll be checking for that, So for that purpose, you need to complete one entire array, right? Okay, so this is our this was our second edge cases. So you have found some pattern now. What is the pattern? First of all, we have to take a tank, which is our current value of tank, the current amount of gas that is inside the tank. And this tank, what we are defining, gas minus cost at each position, of the array. Okay, so if this tank is greater than 0, then we can consider starting from here. If all other tanks after this tank in the array of A are also greater than 0, they are not breaking the circuit. Okay, if this is less than 0, then simply we will move to the next station. Now one important thing we are missing here, that is also one very much important thing, which is the edge cases most of the people miss. That is very simple, right? You have 5 gas stations here, 1 2 3 4 5, and in the total 5 gas stations, suppose you have 10 unit of gas, and to move to the entire traversing entire 5 gas stations and completing one circuit, suppose you need total of 11 unit of gas. You have only 10 unit of gas available in the gas station, but you need 11 unit. So at any condition, at any edge cases, this can't be satisfied, because the gas needed is less than the gas present is actually less than the gas needed. So we also have to find the total amount of gas present. We also have to find the total amount of gas needed. After that, we'll be checking if the total amount of gas present is less than gas needed, then we'll be returning -1. If that is not, then we'll be returning our position from where we're starting, the higher position, or the position that we have from where we are actually starting in the array. Okay, so this is actually our problem, and let's write some code. Now one thing I must tell you, like I know both C++ and Python, but I'll be writing the code in C++. It's your duty to write the Python code. Those who do not know Python, they also try to write the Python code and send me in my mail address that is mentioned in the description, so that I can send you some goodies. The first one who will be sending the Python code will be getting some goodies from our side. Okay, alright, so let's try to write some code. Now it's the coding time, and to code I'm going to use VS Code as my editor. You can use any editor and you can use any tool. You can use online tools. That's up to you. Many people use a lot of things. You can use that. But one thing you should notice, that most of the times in interviews they are going to ask you to write on whiteboards or in white papers. Okay, they may not ask you to use these type of IDEs or editors. So try to write on whiteboards as well. Try to practice on whiteboard. Try to practice the syntax on whiteboard. That will be very much important. So here we are going to write our program. So we have to include the normal IO stream, input output stream header file. I can directly do input bit standard C++.h, but that is something I don't like, because that is not acceptable in many interviews. Many interviewers do not accept that. So what I am doing here has include vector. So we are going to use vector. Vector is our dynamic array. So we are going to use that. If you are in Python, in C++, I can use vector. If you are in Python, try to use list. Okay, so the list works similarly, like the internal implementation is similar to a dynamic array. Okay, in Python everything is quite simple, so you can write that. So now I am going to use the very basic namespace standard. We are not going to use any standard at this point of time. So I am going to define one class which name is solution. Okay, this is my solution that I am going to define. Okay, so there is a syntax error here. Okay, so here I am going to write the access modifier public. So that means anyone outside of the program, like something outside of this class or outside of the friend class can access it. If I am putting it in private, then only friend class and the members of this class or member functions of this class only, they can access the member function or the data members that I am going to define. So here what I am going to do, I am going to, like, our function is going to return an integer that will be giving us the index of the starting point. Okay, so what I am going to do, integer, and I am going to write the name of the function or the identifier of the function. Now one thing you can see, like, instead of giving only 2-3 words of function, I am writing circular gas station entirely. So this is a part of writing clean code. Write code in such a way that you don't really need any comment to explain that. If you are wasting your time in writing comments, then that is not really a good code. Sometimes comments are necessary while in production environment for other developers, but you may not use that if you don't want that. So that you can use better naming, better variable naming. Try to write to your code as clean as possible so that other people can understand it. Computer can obviously understand your code, but other people may not understand. Sometimes interviewer cut your marks in this, and sometimes you fail to secure your job just because of 1-2 marks for these type of problems. Like you are not writing good code, or someone else has written better code than you. Better code means not better logic. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we have seen that we have to take something to store the total amount of gas and to store the total amount of cost, so that at final stage we can just check how much. If the gas is less than total amount of cost, we can return -1. So for that purpose, I am writing int total gas equal to 0, comma total cost equal to 0. Okay, now to store the current tank value, I am taking this at each position to check if the tank is less than 0 or the tank is greater than 0. Then I am taking start. This is actually our I that we are starting, from where we have to start. This will be our output as well. Okay, now I am starting the loop to check. Now I have already told you that we have to traverse one time. So to traverse one time, what I am doing, I am doing this. Okay, so now we have to check the tank value. So what is the tank value that you have taken? Now one thing to notice here, okay, one thing to notice here, if the tank value is 0, no matter if the tank value is 0, if the tank has something called as 3, then it is greater than 0. So we'll be moving to the next gas station, and we'll be adding the gas station value. Suppose that is 5, the gas station value 5 to this tank, so it will be 8. So what we are actually doing, we are adding the previous value to the current value in this tank. like we have seen here, I'll be showing that. Like we have seen here, we were actually adding the previous, like here that was 3, and when we went to the next station, we made it 3 plus 6 equal to 9. So we are adding that, right? Here also we are going to do something like that, current tank, and we are going to use plus equal to is the operator that is equal to, that you guys may know. Okay, so now what we are going to here, gas I minus cost I. So we are adding that, right? Now we have to check if current tank value is less than 0. If the current tank value is less than 0, then what I will do, I will be moving to the next station. So I will be moving my start to the next station. Like I is our start. If we are not, if the current tank is getting less than 0, then we will be moving to the next gas station. That will be I plus 1. So what will be the next current value? Current tank value will be 0, because in the question it is specially mentioned that whenever you are starting from a new gas station, you are starting with an empty tank. So the current tank value will be 0. Now this is our tank logic that we are taking, the tank logic that we have implemented. Now we are going to implement the edge cases. To implement the edge cases, what we need the total amount of gas, right? So here we are calculating the total gas plus or equal to gas I, okay, and the total cost plus or equal to cost of I. Now our for loop has been ended. Now you have to check. What you have to check, I have already told you, the edge case. The edge case you have to check if the total gas, the total gas available is getting less than total cost. We don't really have that much gas to complete the circuit, then we will be returning -1. If it is not, then we will be returning our start. Okay, so I have already told you that this start is our actually output variable. And now our class is designed, the member function circular gas station is designed. Now we just have to take the input from the user, and for that purpose we are going to design our main function. And in the main function we are going to take one object of the solution class, because that will be calling to the member function. Okay, so those who are not good in object oriented programming, guys, please practice your OOP skills, because that is something interviewers see in you. If you are going to be asked low level designing questions, then definitely they are going to ask critical questions from object oriented programming, like what is friend class, what are virtual classes or virtual functions, how to use them, what is inheritance, what is polymorphism. All these questions will be asked. So please try to focus on your object oriented skills. Even if you are in Python, Python also supports object oriented programming. So even if you are Python, try to do that. Okay, so this is our size of our array. We have to take that only one time, that was given as n. Now we are going to take two vectors. Suppose the vector input as vector integer, vector of type integer. That is our we are defining the type there as integer, and this is our cost. Okay, so I have taken here. Now what you have to do, for int I equal to 0, I less than size, what you are going to do, you are going to take array inputs for this vector. So you guys may know how to take vector inputs. So we are going to use something called as pushback. So we are taking one integer key, and we are taking that key from the user, and we are pushing that key back to the gas. Push back, and we have the key here. Okay, now I'm going to copy paste this, because for the other array also this is written back. Okay, now I'm going to copy paste this, because for the other array, like for the cost array, only you have to change this cost. Like you can take instead of writing int key again here, you can take int key here, and you don't really have to write these two lines, but I prefer this. Now let's call our function and try to output the integer variable that we are getting from our function. So how to call the function? We are taking our object, we are writing the dot. This is the member function accessor. So circular gas station. Now we are going to pass gas, and we are going to pass cost here. One thing you can see, I have used constant and constant for the vectors, and I have passed it as a reference. Okay, so for the this actually means that the values can't be changed. So we have to if we want to change the values, then we have to create another vector inside, which will be of order of n. But here order of n space complexity, but here we don't have to really have to do that. you can use endl, endl. If you are doing something called a CP or something like that, try to use /n, because this endl takes more time than /n that I have known till now, because it flushes all the input output streams. Okay, so you should be aware of that. So this is all our function. So what we are doing, let's try to run our function. Before running our function, let's try to run by ourselves. What we are really doing here, we are creating the object and we are taking the size. Okay, these are our vectors, these are our arrays that we have taken A, B. Okay, here we are taking the input for A, that is our gas, and here we are taking the input for B, that is what? That is our cost. And after that we are calling our function. So let's see what we are doing in the function. Like our function is here. So what we are doing as functions, we are creating 3 variables. Variables are buckets, nothing extra. We are creating 3 variables. This is our total gas, it has 0. This is our total cost. So these 2 are made for our edge cases that we are taking. Okay, small edge cases, nothing such serious. We are creating start. The start will actually be our output, so try to perform better algorithms on the start. I mean correct algorithms, what I mean to say. And we are taking our current tank value. This is quite important. This is actually our logic from this greedy algorithm. So current tank value, what we are taking, gas minus cost time, that we have seen already. So we are putting something here and we are checking if that is getting less than 0. Then we are moving to the next gas station by incrementing the value of I or storing that in start. And we are fixing our current tank as 0, because it is said that when you are starting from any gas station that has empty tank. Okay, and we are adding this gas and cost here. Why we are adding this? For our edge cases, that is this. If the total gas is less than total cost, then how someone can complete the entire circle? That is not possible, right? So this is all about this problem. You guys can run it by yourself. We can also run that. Why can't we run that? Let us run that. So this is our terminal, and let us go to our folder directory and let us run this program. This is circular gas.cpp. Okay, so now what we have done, we have taken this G++ circular gas.cpp. Why that problem, why that error happened? The reason is we have not saved our file. So that type of problem happens when I use the gen mode in VS Code. I sometimes forget to save the code. So that's not a big problem. Now we are going to call our executable file. Now this executable file, when we are going to call this executable file, that will be loaded into your main memory or your RAM through a component called as loader. So here we are going to do that. Now it is asking us for the input. So we are taking, suppose we are taking 5 as input. We are taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the input for one cases, for one edge cases. And for the cost, we are taking 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Something similar to that. I don't really remember. So that will be giving us output as 3. So similarly, you can check other test cases as well and try to save your file. Or else that will be giving this type of errors. Okay, so I hope it is clear. I hope you have understood the problem. Now what you have to do next? You must be thinking what I have to do next. Try to implement in Python and try to dry run it in your pen and paper. Take a pen and paper, take my code and try to dry run it. The code is available in the description. I've given it on my GitHub, so you can check that. Okay. So all right, that's all for this session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. please subscribe to our channel and try to see all the videos that we are going to publish in future, because we will be discussing a lot about interview problems that have already been asked in many companies. Okay guys, see you in the next video. Thank you so much.